Welcome to Moon Mondays.
Welcome to Monday.
I'm your host, Jasmine,
I'm your host, G.
and today we're going to be talking about manifestation.
Manifestation.
Yes, all the things about
Yes.
manifesting, and how we have learned tricks on our own how to manifest easier, and some things I read about and other people teachings that taught me how to manifest
Yeah.
some of the things that I've manifested. So
And I feel like it's like an action. Manifestation is like an action. So it's definitely a source action. And you have to be tapped in. And things will align and come to you.
speaking of align, I totally agree. I think alignment is one of the most important things when it comes to manifestation. Alignment, and also knowing and trusting the universe, and your subconscious plays a big part in that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely the subconscious plays a part in manifesting. Even talking about how Sigmund Freud brought out your subconscious
Hmm.
is if you go to sleep and you think about something, it'll be like on your mind, and
Which is important. Why,
which is
when you go to
important
sleep, you
to,
should think of good things.
yeah. It's important to think of those things that you see yourself already completed or there.
Yeah. Speaking of Sigmund Freud, Joseph Murphy, it's a book called The Subconscious Mind that I read.
Hmm.
And it taught me myself a lot about manifesting and how your subconscious work, which is why you may, manifest things that you wonder, like, why is this happening? Or why am I dating the same people? Because subconsciously, you are bringing that situation in your
Yeah,
life, and you can do the opposite of not bring it into your life if you constantly think about what you want versus not what you want.
yeah. You want to set clear intentions. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Setting clear intentions to be able to map out the way the energy comes to you.
Hmm.
So you definitely want to set some clear intentions. Those are things I feel like I visualize it in my mind and in my thought process, and then like I start putting myself in that environment or in that force, and then the next thing I know, it's like, boom, like this got done, and I didn't even, um,
And speaking of,
expect the outcome to be as powerful
hmm
in a sense. I expected it to get done, but the more intentional I was with that specific thing, and then it's like everything's aligning and it's done.
I agree. When you said visualizing, it's a thing
Believe.
called dreamscaping.
Hmm.
So dreamscaping basically comes from playing a movie in your mind,
Yeah.
and that worked a lot for me. And I noticed when I am manifesting some of the bigger things or things that I want, I do a lot of dreamscaping.
Yeah.
And I'm very intentional what I want. I'm very specific. That's the thing. You have to be very specific.
Yes.
The universe always will always bring you what you want, using three methods. What you speak, because words are spells.
Yes.
They're very powerful.
Powerful.
So be careful what you say, and also your feelings, and also your thoughts.
Thoughts.
So it's three. It's what they say. Three's a charm.
Three is a charm.
So when you're dreamscaping, you have to remember. You have to speak what you want.
Yes.
You have to think about what you want and feel what you want.
Feel it.
And it's methods to that. How
Yeah.
do you use your dreamscaping methods?
I'd say I would use them in the same form because I feel like it would be not in the same way. I might think it first, or I
Mm-hmm.
may feel it first, or I may speak it first.
Mm-hmm.
But I notice that I use it in those ways depending on what that manifestation is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way I kind of use it as well because
Yeah.
it's those three things. So
Yeah.
if you don't align them, it won't kind of manifest in a sense. But I feel like you have to align all three in
Mm-hmm.
order to, you know, receive it.
You do. And like I said, one of the methods you can do is at night before you go to bed or before you wake up, you take some deep breaths, breathing through your nose, out through your mouth. And let's just say you want a promotion, or you
Mhm.
want this job, or you want this car that you want,
Yeah.
or maybe you want this outfit. You want to figure out how you're going to get this outfit,
Or a
or
new,
some concert
yeah,
tickets,
or a new crib, or
or
a
something like
new,
that. So here's a method that I've learned. And so after you take a couple of deep breaths, you put yourself in a dream state. Basically, theta. You're still awake,
Mhm.
but you're sleep, trying to get to sleep, and you're thinking about what you want. And you have to tell yourself what you want. Speak it out loud to yourself about what you want. After you're speaking it out loud,
Yes.
you start thinking about what it would feel like that you have it. You already have this.
Yeah.
You already have it. It's just your
It's,
car. Imagine your hand wrapped around the steering wheels.
yeah.
Imagine your hand wrapped around the steering wheels. Smell it. How does the leather feel? I
What
mean,
color is
smells
it?
like. What color is it? What road are you driving down?
Yeah.
You know? And also know that it's already there.
Yeah.
You feel it. Have the feelings that it's already there. And you're visualizing it. You're so specific of how does it look, because
Yeah.
the universe does not know the difference, and your subconscious mind, I mean, not
Yeah.
the universe, your subconscious mind don't know the
Yeah.
difference between make believe and real, and it's mind blowing when you find that out. Like,
Yeah, it's true.
wow. And if you do that over and over again, eventually, I don't know how it happens, but eventually
It
it
happens.
happens.
You just, it's like you wake up and
Yeah,
it's done.
and it's done. And don't get me
That's the
wrong,
dreams.
manifestation without as they call it, action.
Action.
It's
You gotta have
nothing.
action.
Some people think that, you can just manifest something and you don't have, you
You
take no
have to
action.
have the work.
It's like, I want to win a lottery, but you never buy a lottery ticket.
There's no action.
There's no action.
Yeah.
I want a certain role. Well, if you don't put yourself out there, who's gonna know you exist?
Who knows?
You know?
Yeah.
So how do you use action in your manifestation?
I would say, like I said earlier, by just doing, right? So if a thought popped in my head, I have to do it. That's actionable. So it's like I want bigger arms. I'm manifesting that for myself, but my action is okay. You got to take your ass to the gym.
You gotta work out. Yeah.
So I'm doing that, and then I'm seeing it, and then now I see the progress. But now I look up, I manifest. It's like, oh shit, or like I want to lose weight, I want to gain weight. Those things you can manifest as well by taking action. And then the next thing you know, you look up, you're like, hey, I want to lose 15 pounds.
Yeah.
What are you doing to lose those 15 pounds? What actions are you doing as far as what are you eating?
Exactly.
How are you exercising? And how are you actually, I feel like manifestation is also an education source for us. You're educating your mind, body, and soul to align with the lifestyle and the being you want to become. So I believe that you're educating yourself on how to do these things once you make that thought, once you make that feeling, and once you make that, you make it spoken, then it all aligns, and the next thing you know, it's just out of nowhere. And then certain things I feel like comes along on the path where you're like, I said this, and then the next thing you know, you get like a reconfirmation from like you having a random conversation, or you hear somebody else having a random conversation about it, and then the next thing you know, it's like, oh shit. And then it may be another sign. and then it lets you know you're kind of on alignment with
on the right path,
what you thought or what you feel or what you spoke.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. It's so funny like that. Speaking of being that person, you really do have to, as they call it. I think Rihanna said it one day: "Fake it to make it." Like you got to wake up every day.
She's a Pisces.
If you want out there, if you wanna be that bitch, as they say,
correct.
You have to fake it till you make it. When you are manifest, you have to really fake it. Yeah. Like if you want to be wealthy, you really have to feel wealthy.
Yeah.
You really have to feel wealthy
and place yourself in wealthy
places because you deserve to be there because you're wealthy as well. You know,
it's like when they say your window shopping. and you go to a high-end space
Mm-hmm.
and they say, you know, go in there, hold your head up, like they don't know you shopping around for you, you know,
Exactly.
so it's you deserve that. So, you know, you got to act as if that's something that
That's
you do on the regular and
that's
that's what you
it's
want.
normal to you, and it's
Yeah.
like someone who is someone that you may see is like, wow, that person has a lot of confidence, and they may not be the typical beauty standard. Because
But their energy is,
beauty is in the eye of the
yeah,
beholder, but they may not have the aesthetics that people will be like, oh, that person is fine,
yeah,
but their confidence, their
yeah,
energy, their aura is so freaking sexy. They manifested
they
to
did.
be a sexy being, even though their outer appearance to most may not be physically appealing.
The aura is.
It's the aura, and
So
I have
those can be
seen
two
that.
things. Yeah.
I have seen some men and women that it's like it's something about them. Like normally, if I saw a person like that, I may not be attracted to them or whatever, but it's something very sexy about this person. And it took me a long time to realize their aura. It was them projecting, it was them manifesting, this is who I am. And it made them sexy.
Yeah. What do you think are like some common mistakes into manifesting?
The number one thing is what we were just talking about, action.
Yeah.
People just think that I'm gonna manifest this and there's not gonna be any action. There has to be some sort to action.
And also
Action,
patience.
patience as well,
Patience.
because things happen when it was supposed to happen. You may want something at a certain time or you have a certain deadline, but the universe have
They work
other
out, the universe works out the details.
the universe is always working in your
Working out the
favor.
details.
It's working the details out, especially if you say you want it for your highest good. If you don't get
Yeah.
something, it may not be for your highest good.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
I think that's a common mistake is action, having patience, and not being specific.
being too general. I was gonna say
Being
that.
too
Being too
general.
general. Being too general.
You know? Or switching it up,
Yeah.
not being sure, unsure,
Yeah.
uncertainty.
Yeah. And I would say ignoring personal growth. Definitely ignoring personal growth because you need to see yourself growing in order to manifest more. And I feel like, we don't pay attention to our personal growth as much because you want to
Yeah.
see yourself already there, and you do,
You
but
do.
you don't reward the actions or
Mhm.
steps that you're already doing for your personal growth.
Again, it goes back to you actually have to see yourself being there.
Yeah.
You are that person. If you want to be a boss, an entrepreneur boss, or you own a 6 or 7 figure company or more, you have to see yourself doing that. You have to dress a certain way.
Yeah.
You have to act a certain way. You have to present a certain confidence or a certain cockiness. And don't get me wrong, cockiness is healthy when it's done in balance. It's just because you're cocky doesn't mean you need to be an asshole. You can be cocky in your mind that I know I'm going to get this without being cocky in front of people,
That's
without
true.
being showy. People forget that you being cocky
But that's
internally.
because you believe and you trust yourself.
Yeah.
And that's not cocky. That's,
I
like,
say, yeah, but pop your
shit.
shit. Seriously, pop your shit. You should, because if you ain't popping your shit, nobody else is gonna do it.
I love that pop your shit.
Yeah, you have to be, and that's that. I think that's a common mistake too.
Yeah.
People are so scared to pop their shit when it comes to manifestation. That's the only way you're gonna get it, because the universe is like, oh, wait a minute. That's another thing.
Yeah.
You think you deserve it. Oh, you know you deserve it. Oh, well, why don't I give
As
this to
deserve.
you? And that's
That's one of
me and everyone else. I feel like that's one of the common things themes that we all work on.
Yeah.
Is knowing that we deserve it.
Yeah.
Our subconscious can talk us out of a blessing.
Yeah.
Literally talk us
That's
out of
true.
a blessing.
But it's also feeding your subconscious. What are you feeding your subconscious?
Exactly. It goes back to back to that.
Everything on the path of your manifestation is aligned for you and with that energy and action you're taking. So it will come.
Yeah. So, what are some of the things tools that you use to feed your subconscious?
I would say definitely affirmations. Definitely affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
Being that, you are deserving. If anything good happens to, I would say, even myself or my friends or my family, I always say, as you deserve. That's an affirming statement, but it's something that I just naturally started saying over and over and over. And next thing you know, it's like, as you deserve. Yes, as I deserve. I deserve this. All
Yeah.
good things, all great things, those positive things.
Yeah.
I don't want anything that doesn't serve me to, I'm not attracting that. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
manifesting that. I'm not bringing that in. So that is something that I use a lot. Also, my actions.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my tools. I have to, if I see it, I have to start doing it. If I say I want to do this, I'm already looking. Like,
Mm-hmm.
say I want to move. I'm like, oh, okay, I want to move.
Yeah.
Oh, I start looking at specific spaces, and then I'm like, I want to move here. I want this convenience. I want that convenience. I break it down, and then it narrows the way it's manifested. And then it becomes very, very, very specific and
Mm-hmm.
aligned. And then the next thing I know, I look up and it's like,
You got
boom.
it.
So that's another tool I use, and also just the way you think and the way you speak to yourself.
Yeah.
And then I always say this: I stay in the mindset of gratitude. That's my feel.
Oh my
That's
God.
my tool for the feel. Gratitude.
Gratitude. Oh my God, gratitude. I can't
That's my
tell
feel.
you how much gratitude helps me out. I over the years I have learned to be grateful even through the most tragic moments. I
Yes.
have learned to be grateful to just be alive and breathing.
Yes.
So that is an important tool in my toolbox when it comes to manifestation. I would take a
Yes.
step back from complaining in my head about all the things, this and this one, and this, what ain't happening. I'm supposed
Right.
to do this, and I take a step back, like,
Yeah.
bitch,
You gotta cut yourself out sometimes.
what are you grateful for?
Yes.
What are you grateful for? What do you have? You have a roof over your head.
Yeah.
You're healthy. You're
You're alive.
beautiful. You're alive.
Yeah.
You are loved. You have people who love you. You love yourself.
Yes. And even
You are thriving
the
and
simple things, like you have vision, you have mobility,
you can
you
hear.
can hear. Like, these are things that
You have legs. You
I
have
don't want to take for
arms.
granted.
Yes, I do not. And I look in it, I say, I don't take it for granted. Like,
Yeah.
I have arms. So, yes, I'm going to hug a tree. You
Yeah.
may see me being that weird bitch hugging a tree. I'm going to hug a tree because I have arms to hug nature
Yeah.
that gives me life. And I'm grateful for that.
Yes.
You know, I am not ashamed of that at all.
No.
So, gratitude when it comes to that, I check
That's
myself.
a big one.
You have to check yourself.
Gratitude makes you reassess yourself.
It does.
And that's why I always say I stay in the mindset of gratitude, because it's continually
Mm-hmm.
making me reassess G.
Yeah.
Every
It humbles
time.
you
Yes.
too. It really does humble you. And I want to talk about a little bit how I use gratitude and manifestation to manifest my studio in Santa Monica, and I want you to talk about that in Miami.
Yeah.
And I
specifically found that.
it
It found me. That's why I say manifesting finds you, but
we aligned. I was going to say it was a perfect alignment.
It was an
I
alignment.
was looking for something very affordable because I'm one of those people. I don't host a lot at my house. I would rather rent out an Airbnb to host. I like my private space.
Yeah.
And I wanted something very affordable because if you're paying too much money to me, you're paying a mortgage. I'm thinking very financial conscious.
Yeah, you have to.
I have to have something where sunlight comes in. And all my places, you can ask my cousin G, the sunlight just hits inside my place in the daytime.
Sunny.
It's something that I always manifest. The sunlight hits my place. The moonlight hits my place, the natural light. I have to have a balcony. I always have to have a balcony. And it was funny. It was a couple of other things that I wanted, but it wasn't very a need for me. It wasn't very specific. But the things that I wanted about the natural light, how much I want to pay, down to the penny, how much I wanted to pay. And I found the place.
Even
and
the safety of it too.
Oh, the safety was the number one thing for me, especially being me. Safety is the number one thing. And I found the place. I looked on Zillow when I found the place, and I kept saying, this can't be. Because I'm like, well, it looks like it, but it don't seem like it's well lit. I went to go see this place a few years ago in Santa Monica. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I was in a place of gratitude, place of what I wanted. I was very specific,
Yeah.
and knowing that I was going to get it. I just didn't think I was going to get it that fast. It was within 2 weeks I found this
Yeah.
place, and it's been on the market for a couple of years. And I was like, how did I not see this the first time?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the same that happened with me, and it's so funny because like I literally was just searching, and honestly, there were two other spaces that I thought that I was going to get, but they turned me down because they already had showed the showing, and somebody had already got in there before my time. And I'm like, how you going? You told me to show up at 11, and you already said somebody. Maybe you didn't even give me an opportunity,
Right.
but that wasn't for me. Because the one that I got to go and see and view later turned out to be more than actually what I thought,
Really
especially
nice.
space wise. Because I wanted a balcony, I needed convenience, I wanted to be close to the beach, I wanted to be around things, I wanted to walk. Like I'm a walker. I do like to drive from time to time, but I do not drive. I do not have a car, and I want it to be in proximity to things where it's easily accessible to me.
Yeah.
So it was a very great area because I could just walk outside and I can go to bars, restaurants, stores, everything I need is right there at my vicinity, and that's what I love about my space and how I just met. Oh,
really
also,
nice.
I'm from Chicago, so I wanted to be on a specific kind of street that reminded me of home, and it did.
It did.
And it was so specific. It was
It's
crazy.
very specific.
And I was like, what? And I'm so grateful every time I go home and walk in. And even down to like you said, I wanted it to be affordable. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on where I stay because, first of all, I also love to travel. I love to eat. And also, bills are real.
Bills are real,
and
honey.
also, wealth building is real. So
Wealth
I'm
building is
focused
key.
more on building more wealth for myself and
having showing off.
Yeah, having those things financially aligned because if I want something, there are so many other ways and methods that you can get certain things and not have to really own it or
yeah, like I said, you can rent out an Airbnb if you want to host a party.
Yeah, or if you want to if I want to rent a car, I get discounts on renting cars. I can rent a fancy car if I want to drive around for the weekend or something like that. But I'm saving money on gas. I manifested that. I'm saving money not having insurance. And I'm also able to. I will say, I manifested a piece of time for me because time is something we don't think
time
of.
Time is the most valuable thing,
and I appreciate manifesting more of that. And I'm learning more about how to manifest more time and actually stop and enjoy my time that I manifested.
Being in the present.
Yes.
And on that note, it's a present that we got to have this episode for you guys and women out there. And speaking of, I just want to say I feel grateful, and I'm in a present right now in nature with my cousin having this episode, and I feel very grateful and grounded.
I'm so grateful, and also I want to say thank you all for the birthday wishes. I know our manifestation episode is a gift, so we want to say thank you for tuning in, those of you that do. And what are you grateful for, and how do you manifest?
Leave it in the comments. Until next time.